Hello, my name is Arlene Wild and I'm known as Stitching in the Fence here on Flosstube. Welcome to my channel. For those returning subscribers, welcome. For any new subscribers, thank you, and a very warm welcome to you, and hopefully you will enjoy the channel. Right, so today we're not actually in the fence. We're not stitching in the fence today because we are actually on tour. Those of you who have listened to the channel before, you are aware that I'm a full-time mixed media artist, and I have another channel which is called Arlene Wild Artist, and we also have a website and web shop, Arlene Wild Art. Anyway, this is our leisure channel where we enjoy my cross stitch and all the other crafts that I do in my leisure time. We also, I can say excitingly as well, tomorrow hopefully I will be on site at the RHS Wisley. Now RHS stands for Royal Horticultural Society, and it's their headquarters and gardens here in the United Kingdom. Very beautiful, but we will talk about that tomorrow. Because I'm taking you on your first come with me. So we're going to do a little bit of filming there, and we're going to have a look at the gardens and also the contemporary craft event which I'm taking part in. So you get to see my professional work as well. So that'll be fun. But today we're here for the cross stitch. So as you can see, I'm not in my stitchy chair and I'm not home in the fence. So where am I? I'm in our caravan. We have a very large caravan because we do so many events. It's great. It's like home away from home. It means I can bring my stitching. I can bring home my stuff. I even bring my Lowry sometimes, but I haven't got my Lowry today because mostly I'm stitching in hand. So I thought, because I had intended, to be honest, people, I do owe you an apology. I had intended to do my whip parade. But unfortunately work took over. There was just so much to do to get the spring collection out for the other for the events and so on, and we have 3 events in a row. Well, 3 and a tiny one as well. So it was full on. I was in the studio the whole time, did get a bit of stitching done because I do stitch every day. I start my morning with stitching, as in my cross stitch, and I end my day with stitching. I love my stitching. It's my happy place, when I've been working hard doing my other work. It's a nice retreat for me. But of course, coming on tour, I have brought some work to do because I'm away for 2 weeks. Yippee. It is a working holiday. Well, it's not really a holiday's work, but I'm not on site every day because Simon, my husband, he runs the operations side of our small business. So he does the shows, the events, and I tend to turn up every now and again, and meet the clients, which is very, very nice. I like that. I used to do it full time, but unfortunately, I have got sickle cell. I don't know if many of you know what that is. So as I've gotten older, it has become a bit more difficult to be there all the time because I do get quite tired. But he enjoys the customers and they like him as well. So that's good. So what I'm going to show you today is the things I've brought to stitch on. And you're going to think, Arlene, you're crazy. You're away for 2 weeks. Really? Really? I'm hoping to do the whip parade, obviously, when we get back. Okay, so probably not for another 2 weeks because, we are on the show, probably 3 weeks actually, by the time we get back, because I might have some orders to do as well. But the whip parade will come. But today we're going to have a look at what I've brought to stitch. And then hopefully during the time I'm away, I'll do another quick broadcast to show you progress. Okay, so without further ado, here we go. We're going to start with the smallest one first because it's a bit ambitious. Now let me see. Now hopefully I'm organized because we're in a small space. We haven't got the big space we have at home. So the first piece I wanted to show you, now a friend of mine, she's about to have her first grandchild, and her son and my daughter are the same age, so it's really nice, and I wanted to do a nice thing for them. Now what I've got is, hopefully you can see it because the lighting here, I haven't put the extra lighting on. So it's a Bothy Threads kit. And I don't know what baby they're having, but I chose the boy one because I'm going to change up some of the colors, put a bit more lemon, a bit more green in. So there it is. And there's the threads, because the kit came with everything. It's 14 count Ada that is being stitched on. Hope you can see the colors. The light in here is a bit bright, guys. I apologize. I have put the shade down on the roof light, but it is a little bright. So that's them with all the numbers, all comes organized. I like Bothy kits actually. Sometimes I do change up the Ada. Oh dear, hopefully we're not too blown out. There we go. little mind. I'm quite fond of my minders, little teddy. Let's turn him up right side up. So I've made some good progress. I was a bit worried about that thread actually, because it's a silver thread, and I kept thinking, but actually short lengths, that is the key to working with these metallic threads. A little bit blown out there. Let me put something behind it so you can see. Hopefully you can see my progress. So I want to get a bit done on that. The baby's coming in July, and as you know, babies wait for no one. So I'm hoping to get that one, a bit of work done on that. So I'm going to just pop that over to one side. So that's the easy one, okay? But for some reason, I decided to have a blitz on my full coverages. So I've got a few full coverages here, and I'm going to put a few stitches in here and there and all of them. As somebody said, if you don't start them, you can't finish them. So yeah. And oh, the last thing, apologies if you hear anything going overhead. We're kind of near to Heathrow Airport here, so we do get a bit of air traffic, so I apologize if you can hear any of that. So let us kick off with this one. Now you'll find that there are really two main whoops, there goes that helicopter. Probably somebody going shopping, somebody really wealthy, I expect. I'm only joking. Anyway, so this is one of them. You can, hopefully you can see the person I bought it from there. So beautiful, stitches so beautiful on Etsy. I just absolutely love that. Gorgeous. Quite a big girl, obviously, because it is a full coverage, and it's got 100 colors, and you can see the stitch count there. Okay, now that one, I'm working it on 25 count, even weave, gridded, 1/1. I prefer one strand. I just do. I can't help it. Some people like 2 strands. I'm quite happy with the 1 strand. I think for me, my stitches look better, and I just like the look of it. So let me see if I can show you. Let's fold it over. Show you my progress. Not very big progress on any of them, right? So that's there, but you can already see. Hopefully I can get it focused. You can see the colors coming through, and of course a cute minder. You got to have a minder. That little one there has got a fairy on it, and that's from Don't Step on Your Needle, and that's a Arlene made. I'm probably going to be selling some of these on my shop, but it's all varnish. It's lovely and smooth, and I've done a little bit of my mixed media on it as well. It's a little Benjamin bunny. So that's the first one. Then I have, oh, before I go any further, these are the threads. Well, what I do, right, I have a way of dealing with my threads on my full coverages, right? It's just an experiment I'm trying. So what I do is I work with CXC threads mostly, and I keep my threads, my full coverage threads, separately. I have 2 sets at the minute in that pool of threads, and because I buy them from AliExpress, and I pay something like £20 max for the whole set of DMCs, so the 447 pieces, right? So what I do is I keep them in that pool, and then I know that they're there, so like I can borrow, you know, from one to the other if necessary. A bit complicated, but I was just going to show you how I make my floss drops. I make my own floss drops. I like my things pretty. I like pretty things, you'll find, and you see, so pretty. And I'll put a little bit of sparkle on it. See if I find another one. And all my fairies are gonna have fairy ones. I like having the 2 holes as well. I use a punch, which I get from Amazon. I have 2 sizes, well 3 actually, because I do have a big one as well. I like to have that hole where I put my main amount of threads, and this little hole where I put my odd little strands, and then these little rings as well, these binder rings, I also get from Amazon, right? And you notice there isn't much thread on here, because what I do, right, I know these are going to be long-term projects, so, and I'm going to show you the pool of threads. What I do is I tend to just take out some out of the pool of threads, right? And then I take out, I sort of kit as I go, and I put it in a bag which is just for her for this project. But then I don't take off all of it. I just take off a few, like 2 lengths, right? And how I cut my lengths is I weave as well, as you know. This is a weaving wand, right? You can buy them online. They're not very expensive. This is a beautiful handmade one. And what I do is I wind my thread around here, okay? And then I cut one end. So that gives me a suitable length for what I want. Now, if you were stitching with 2 strands, you probably find that this particular weaving one is too short for you. Because what you want to think about is that's going to give me that length, and that length in measurement is going to be the length of my thread. But because I'm working in 1 strand, I don't want a very long piece of thread. Because if you have the thread too long, it's going to knot. And also you tire the thread out, you know, it sort of gets a bit rough by the end by going in and out of the stitching. But this size is fine. I didn't measure it, unfortunately, but you can work that out for yourself. But if you go online, you should be able to buy one of these, and this one is very smooth. Okay, and it's used for weaving. So I pop that to one side. So that's her, and she, but then before I move on to show you the other ones I'm working on, I thought I'd show you the other patterns that I have got from this designer as well. Not started yet and won't be started right now. So that's another one, so beautiful. I'm finding her patterns very easy to follow. Right, this one is called the Easter Fairy, and you can see her size. None of them are small girls. And there's her pretty minder, again from Don't Step on Your Needle. I love her. She's a nice needle minder maker. Even though I make my own minders, I don't mind buying from other people, you know. I just enjoy making my own things as well. This one as well, I love her. She reminds me of Bridgerton, didn't she? She reminds me of the young queen in Bridgerton. I really like that Tudor vibe about it. Again, another big girl. I would like to get her started this year. I mean, to be honest, I'm fully expecting these full coverages to take a long time. You know, I've got no illusions. The other one I bought, the lady did have a sale, by the way. It was 50% off, so it would be rude not to buy the things in my wish list. That's one. She's lovely as well. Her colors are gorgeous. I mean, look at that. Very beautiful. She has some very nice patterns on there, and as I said, you can look her up on Etsy. PDF downloads, right? And she is pattern keeper friendly. So this seems like a good opportunity. Let me just move these over here because I don't want to get into a terrible mess. Now this seems like a good opportunity to show you my threads, how I keep my threads. Now when I'm coming on the road, right, I don't I need smaller boxes because, you know, it's a caravan, it's got lots of storage, but you want smaller boxes. So I buy these boxes here. They're gift boxes, and they're often quite cheap. Now up in the Midlands where I live and up north, there's a shop called Yorkshire Trading, which is really good. It's like a sort of general store, you know, and they sell things a bit discounted. And I can't remember what it was, probably a £5, if that, probably £3.99. And it's a Christmas one, but I don't care. I just like the pretty pattern. So if I open the box, now I have, from a full coverage, I'm going to, a bit of a spoiler, Chris Dunn is my other designer, which I'm going to show you that I'm working with and focus on. But I have 2 boxes with 2 sets in at the minute, which are for general full coverages. And the full coverages you're seeing now are the full coverages I'm working on. So, you know, and it's the same designer, so they tend to be similar. And what I do is I have 2 boxes so that they're distributed over 2, and I put them in bags. I'm going to open up a bag and show you. You see? And what I do is that bag, for example, is all my 900s. They're all in here. So it's very easy for me to kit up, because before, like a ninny, don't know what I was thinking. I had them all, and you'll see when you look in the Chris Dunn box, right? I just dumped them all in there. What was I thinking? And then I went through another phase before that where I had like put them all in colors. What was I thinking? I mean, what pattern is like that? It's in numbers, isn't it? I mean, come on. So I had to go through and sort that, because for my general cross stitch now, for all my other projects, I have 2 sort of cardboard. They look like suitcases, but they're cardboard. And you get them from places like Home Sense, you know, they like a big sort of cardboard, pretty suitcase. And I have 2 of those. And what I do in those, they're still in bags like this. I've divided them up into the blocks, you know, like, so for example, I have, this one is 3 zeros. So in the 3000s, what I do is like, we'll put 3 1, 3 zeros all in one bag. So I've got 2 big suitcases of those, which I build up over time. And those are used for my general purpose cross stitch. These full coverages do not go into my full set, my other general, or else there would be nothing. They'd tie up all the threads, wouldn't they? So that's how I keep the threads. And then I have the 2 boxes, and I can easily, you know, they're not very big, so I can transport them around. So that's that. Let's pop that one down there out of the way. So those are the girls that I'm working on. Now, as if all of that wasn't bad enough. Last month, right, because I'm a member of the Facebook group, Full Coverage Fanatics, which is a really nice group, actually. I'm really enjoying it because I've joined a few groups, you know, strategically, that are stitching things that I'm kind of interested in. So as if that wasn't bad enough, yes. HAED. You heard me right, HAED. HAED had a sale on, right? A 50% sale on. Again, I had a basket full of stuff. So I decided to partake. So I bought this. Now, unfortunately, with them, and take it out of the bag. Unfortunately, with the HAEDs, they're very small. The picture, you know, I think they do it so people don't plagiarize them. So hopefully you can see it. It is gorgeous. Look at it. Look at all that going on. This is the name. I pull it down, right? And I will push it up so you can see. Oh, another helicopter. We are plagued, guys. I'm really sorry about that. Oh, let's wait for that one to go across while I show you this. Hopefully you'll forgive me for that. Right? And you can see the size of her. She's a very, very big girl. And what I'm doing is I'm working this one again on 25 count 1/1 CXC threads. I find the CXCs are quite fluffy as well. They're a little bit fluffier than the DMC, so you get a bit better coverage. But it depends on the sort of coverage you like. I don't really like it very thick. So that's the royal blue I'm putting in the corner there. Hopefully not too blown out. And again, my pretty needle minders that I like. I think I made the silver one, or a friend gave me that, I think, as a gift for Christmas. And a sparkly little beetle. Not very large progress, but progress just the same. I'm really enjoying this one, although the confetti is waiting. And what I find with HAEDs, right, they're very confetti heavy, you know, because that's how you get the details. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that one as well. So I just do a little, you know, each time I put in a few stitches on each one, and I'm just gonna be spreading the love that way. So that's the HAEDs. So what else have we got? Oh, before I come to Chris Dunn, there's one more. Hang on. Now this one, to be fair, I don't think I'm going to be doing any work on, but I just brought it. But I don't think so. Now this one is on my own dyed linen. And I believe it to be 38 count. I don't often work on 28. And this one, I just get it out of the bag, if you just bear with me, because I wanted to unpack everything, but you know, the space is limited. And this one is actually Alice in Wonderland by Brooks Books. Now it's a shame because I can't show you the whole thing, but it's, if you go on to Brooks Books, right, it's a big piece, and it's got all of the characters on a line. But I live in a cottage, right, so I can't accommodate, especially with all my full coverages. Yes, there's no way I'm going to accommodate that big thing. So I had the idea to split it into 3 characters, like she shows on the booklet. Okay, you see, so he's my next character I'm going to be stitching. I've just stitched Alice, and I will show you Alice. So on this one picture will be like these 3, just like this, and then I will do another one. So I've dyed all the linen. I've tried to get the color, the blues, slightly different, and I will show you those in a minute. Let me just have a look to see if I can show you some of it. Oh, I've got the whole picture actually. You just bear with me. Sorry about the crinkling. There we go. I love it. I like the colors, and I think it's quite amusing. She does others as well. She has the Little Mermaid, I think she's doing a stitch along with, but she's also on Etsy. So I'm going to break my characters up into 3s. So I'm going to have those 3 together, then those 3 in one frame, those 3, and then those 3. Okay? Because, you know, sometimes if things don't work, you know, if you see something and you really like it, make it work for you, isn't it? So this is my progress. She's got 3 needle minders, honestly, greedy girl. But I sometimes use the needle minders to wrap my thread around. There's my Alice. I have done a few changes to it. Just see, I've added some gold in. Oh, there's her latest minder, which I made her out the way. I'm struggling to get the Drink Me because it's got words here, eat me and drink me. I'm struggling to get the back stitch fine enough. We're definitely plagued. There's also a building site and they're banging away. So I'm sorry, you cannot help the people around. Where I'm staying is very beautiful as well. It's in the woods. But unfortunately, you know, life goes on the outside and there's a big building site going on. This part is very tedious with the grass, I must say. It's a lovely stitch and I do like Brooks's patterns. But this part is such a pest because you see all those little greens. It's like little lines, but it's like you'll get a block of, say, 3 stitches, maybe sometimes 2. It's very random and then they're changing colors all the time there. So I will extend this platform and then our fella will go. So that is the linen I dyed myself. I'm quite pleased with that. I'll show you the other pieces as well. You might be interested. And I will be doing a Flosstube. Well, I have already recorded it, but it won't go live for until after I've done the whip parade. So you're looking a little bit of a delay on dyeing. You will be able to see me dyeing a piece of fabric for 2 projects and talking you through my process. So there it is. That's the linen there, a little bit blown out the color. It's more turquoisey than that. So that's for one of the other ones. So they're not vastly different, right? But they're going to be framed differently. So I wanted a little bit of variation. This one I quite like. I like the dark striations on that piece. Very nice. I like that. And then this one has got more green blotches to it. So, you know, that way they'll be, I'm not sure what color frame. My husband does all our picture framing. So he'll be able to professionally frame it. And I'll show you the one again that you saw at the beginning. There's my Alice. She's beautiful. And it's very fun to stitch, you know, and I'm changing up some things. Like I said, I put a bit of metallic here and there. I've left a gap in her hair there because I'm thinking of putting a little bit of embellishments, maybe some beads or something. Make she looks like, you know, so it's like she's got an Alice band. Oh, and of course, how could I forget? Bags. I like tote bags, right, for my project bags. Totes. This one I bought. I like the words on it as well. I bought this one from Amazon. And that's for my Alice. So when she goes on tour, she's in our pretty bag. You know, for me, it's all about fun and enjoyment. You know, I enjoy what I enjoy it like the rest of you. I do also have some beads in there as well, which, do you want to see them? I'll quickly show you if I can get them out, because I don't want to make this video too long because we're not sure how easy it's going to be to upload it here because, of course, we're not at home. So my husband asked me to keep them shortish. But I saw these beads, right? And I quite like them. I thought they look like sweets. You see them? They're pretty, aren't they? Whoops. And also these ones. I don't know how they're going to work, how I'm going to work them into the design. But I did like them. And they were ever so cheap. Look at the price. You see it? Yorkshire trading. If ever you find yourself up in the North Country, look at that. They're so cute. And these ones, and I'll be able to use them for other projects as well. That one looks like candy canes, isn't it? So yes, and I do have some charms as well, some little keys and so forth that I'm going to add onto the designs as well as I go along. So I'm going to get into a right mess, you know, guys. Terrible. I'll be having to clear this up later, but never mind, it's worth it. Just to show and share, right? So let's move them over there. I'll clear up the mess later. Put that back in the Alice bag. So that's Alice. So the next chunk that I've got to show you, the next designer which I brought, which I'm working on as well, I'm hoping to make some inroads on, beg your pardon, I'll just get these out the way. Right, is Chris Dunn. Now, Chris Dunn is an artist. He is in Wiltshire, in the United Kingdom. So he's an artist illustrator. And I am a fan of Wind in the Willows. Now, I got the designs from Pain-Free Crafts PDF online. And you will see I'm a little bit in love. Now, the person who turned me on to Chris Dunn and on to Pain-Free Crafts, actually, was Ellie Welly Stitcher. I like Ellie Welly. I watch her a lot, Ellie. And also Flossabilities. I love her. And Mama Flossabilities. I love watching them. Been watching them for a while. So, yeah. So they turned me onto it and I was smitten. So, the first one I've got to show you, which I have made a start on, is Woodland Party. I love that. And for those of you who are familiar with the story of the wind in the willows, again, you see they're not that small. I saw my scribblings where I've been working out my sums. The thing is, this was after Mr. Toad chased the weasels out of his mansion, for those of you familiar with the story, and he had a party in the woods for all the animals. And I thought it was very fitting. My friend, I hope you can see it, the needle minder. This is my progress. Colors are pretty. You can already see the tree. I'll show you a little bit. I think I'm right up in that corner. I like to start in the top left hand corner. So that's just that little piece there. You can already see, if I show you again, the colors are very luminous on this one, because Chris Dunn tends to work in quite muted colors, but this one is a nice bright one. And can you see the minder? I don't know if you can see it. I'll tell you what it says. It's a little beer can, and it says, tears of mine enemies, which I thought was quite fitting. My friend gave me that for Christmas. I'll show you one last time, because there's so much to see, and I can't wait. One of the things I like about full coverage is how the things just emerge out of the gloom, you know. You stitch, and you think, oh, and there's a thing there, and it's so cool. I love it. I know backstitching, although I don't mind backstitch. You see, they're doing a lot. There's so much going on. He's such a wonderful illustrator. Look at them running down there with the cake. So I'm looking forward to showing you progress on that, and actually for myself as well, seeing how it goes. So the next one I have on the go in that. Now this one, honestly guys, has been a bit of a mission. This one is Ulysses, or what I call Mr. Toad. So that's Toad there in Toad of Toad Hall, when he came back and the weasels had taken over his mansion. I'll show you the size. Again, pain-free crafts. I like how she charts as well. I find it says what it does, what it says on the tin. It's pain-free. I find her charts very easy to work with. Somehow they seem a bit easier than others, and she has cut down on the amount of threads, because some of them, you know, have 200 threads. Like my big HAED is 240 threads. That's a lot of threads, right? Especially if you have to DMC it. So there's Mr. Toad. I give you a good look. Again, you really need to look to see all the details. Now this one has been a bit of a troublemaker. This is my third start on it, and I will tell you why. But I wish you could see the colors, you know, like it looks brown to you, right? But in here there's a lot of mauve and different little speckly colors, and it's very textured. When you look at it, you know, it's got a lot of little colors in it. And I have stitched it further along in one of my previous starts, and I know that you start getting the beams coming in. So yeah, so that's Mr. Toad. Now the reason why he got restarted, to be fair, now, oh, sorry, I neglected to tell you, it's on 20 count ADA, 1/1, right? Which is, to me, as far as you can vaguely push one thread. Anything under 20 count, you need 2 threads, really. 18 count, 16 count, there's no way. Although you find with a lot with the full coverages, going down to 16 count and 18 count has got size issues, because clearly as the count goes down, then the size goes up, and none of these are small. So unless you're in a stately home, you could have a problem, right? So anyway, I'll tell you quickly why I had to restart it. Now, it's interesting actually. You know, sometimes, right, if, say, for example, you go and decide to try, I don't know, a 36 count linen or whatever, or even linen, and you might find, oh, blimey, I'm well out my depth, I can't manage this. Well, that's what happened with me. He was my very, very first full coverage that I did. And what I did was I started off with the recommended, because I looked on Teresa Little Stitcher. If you're looking to start full coverage, Teresa Little Stitcher is brilliant. She has done several videos. She's on Flosstube, Teresa Little Stitcher, for those of you not aware. Now, she's brilliant, and she's done quite a few tutorials on how to start your first HAED or your first full coverage, right? So Teresa went through it, and she showed us all the fabrics and how to do the testing and all the rest of it. But having done my research, right, it appeared that most people worked on 25 count, 2 over 1. Most of them. Some do 1/1 like I do. So I went right to a place in the UK called Love Crafts, and I bought a bit of the fabric. I probably bought about 4 or 5 pieces, again in the sale, because they often have a sale. So if you're not aware of Love Crafts, I don't know if they ship abroad, but if you're not aware of them, do sign up for their newsletter, because they often have a good discount going, or sale, right? And they inform you on email. because that's how I got my lorry. I got my lorry with 20% off, and that's how I managed to buy my lorry stand. But anyway, I digress. So I bought up, right, this whole load, say 6 pieces of this gridded 25 count. Started doing Mr. Toad on 25 count, 2/1. My goodness, guys, I couldn't see it. I thought, what the hell? I couldn't see the holes. I'm thinking, my gosh, I can't do this. It took me like a week and I hadn't made any progress. I think I did 2 boxes because, you know, you have all the ninja stitches and that. Oh, I just couldn't do it. So I felt kind of heart, you know, my heart went, you know how it is when you buy all this stuff and you think, sorry, I have to have a sip of water, a bit tickly throat. Yeah, pardon. You know how it is when you buy all this stuff and then you think, oh my God, I've wasted my money. And I felt a bit downhearted. So what I did was, I put it away. And I thought, oh well, don't worry about it tomorrow. And then, let me just pause and get some water.